potential of a breach of the South Reservoir at Piney Point facility. I issued an executive order declaring a state of emergency in Manatee as well as in Hillsborough and Pinellas counties due to the proximity of these counties to the Eastport terminal facility. This will ensure that all state resources are available for response and for recovery. At my direction, the State Division of Emergency Management, Manatee County Emergency Management, and Department of Environmental Protection response teams are all coordinating to ensure proper response and mitigation of risks in Manatee County and in impact areas. And what we're looking at now is trying to prevent and respond to, if need be, a real catastrophic flood situation. There was talk about the type of water. I'll say something to that in a minute. But the water quality issues that are flowing from this for us is less than the risk of everyone's health and safety, particularly folks who may live in the area. And so public health and safety is the top priority. Obviously, we want to protect that in a way that minimizes any of the environmental impacts. But the goal is to ensure the integrity of the stack system as quickly as possible in order to minimize impacts to local residents and to prevent an uncontrolled discharge. So according to on-site engineers, a controlled release was necessary to prevent a catastrophic failure. Controlled discharges began on March 30th and continue today. The controlled discharges are averaging about 35 million gallons per day. Manatee County public safety officials sent out an evacuation notices to residents and businesses in the surrounding area and assisted with the evacuation of 316 homes that were in the evacuation zone near Piney Point. I would encourage residents in the evacuated area to call Manatee County's call center at 311, and their operators will assist you with providing a place of shelter. And I know the county and the Red Cross have already put up a number of families in local hotels. Now, updates are being provided online at protectingfloridatogether.gov/Piney Point update. I also want to be clear, while foremost concern is ensuring the safety of the community, our administration is dedicated to full enforcement of any damages to our state's resources and holding the company, HRK, accountable for this event. This is not acceptable. It's not something we will allow to persist. I've asked Secretary Valenstein to work with Manatee County and to utilize all available resources to form a permanent solution to this longstanding issue. But to be clear, the water being discharged to Port Manatee is not radioactive. It is primarily salt water from the Port Manatee Dredge Project mixed with legacy process water and stormwater runoff. The water was tested prior to discharges. The primary concern is nutrients. The water meets water quality standards for marine waters, with the exception primarily of the phosphorus and the nitrogen. And the DEP staff, working with local stakeholders, began water quality monitoring on March 30th and will continue monitoring daily. To date, dissolved oxygen, salinity, and pH all meet water quality standards. Additional water quality information, including additional parameters, will be available in the coming days. So we've done a number of things. The Florida National Guard is in the process of dropping off additional pumps via air on top of the berms to help decrease the water levels in the Piney Point Reservoir at an even faster pace. These pumps will be fed into surrounding waterways in an effort to drain the reservoir so we can better mitigate the effects should a full breach of the site occur. And again, we're currently pumping out 33 million gallons per day. This new process will help to significantly increase the volume of water that we're pumping out of Piney Point. The Division of Emergency Management has deployed 20 pumps to the area. These pumps are moving water at a rate of 23,500 gallons per minute, more than 33 million gallons a day. We've also deployed 10 vacuum trucks. The Emergency Management Division is coordinating with Manatee County as well as the American Red Cross to provide sheltering and food as needed. We're also sending over 100,000 bottles of water to Manatee County. Now, it's unclear of the 316 homes that have been evacuated how many are on private versus public water supply, but we do know that there are no public water supply wells within the evacuation zone. If there's a breach, we'll have resources to test people with private water wells and will provide bottled water. The Emergency Management Division is also deployed an all-hazards incident management team to assist with local response efforts. Of course, also monitoring local roadways and also have the Department of Health on site. So we want to thank the folks in Manatee County for working collaboratively with us. We're hoping that we can just continue to get the water out in an efficient way and to prevent a catastrophic event. But we have to prepare that this could be something where you see further degradation. So I want to thank the folks in Manatee. We have Dr. Hopes here, and then we'll hear from some of our other folks.
Governor, on behalf of Manatee County government and our Board of County Commissioners, we cannot thank you enough for your expeditious support and deployment of these assets. Without your swift action at bringing in the equipment, flying in pumps, we would still be behind the ball on this. And I do believe with this action that we are in our best condition to avoid a catastrophic failure. Your team has been exceptional with DEP and Emergency Management Services, and I can't tell you, Governor, how relieved I am that you're here to handle this press conference and give the briefing. Thank you, and we look forward to working with your team in the days to come.
Great. Jared?
Governor, thank you. I want to thank the county, DEP for a well-coordinated effort even before the division arrived. As the governor highlighted, we've helped bring in additional equipment to help move the water out as fast as possible in a controlled way to help relieve that pressure. Later today, the National Guard will be putting additional pumps on the stacks via air to continue to try to move more water as fast as possible. That is obviously the mission at hand. I'd ask all the folks paying attention locally to heed all warnings that your local emergency management department may give. We don't believe any are on the horizon at this moment, but obviously please continue to pay attention to your local emergency management. Thank you.
Noah?
Thank you. My name is Noah Valenstein. I'm Secretary for the Department of Environmental Protection. Again, from the department's view, we've been working with the county and the Department of Emergency Water out of the controlled discharge. The controlled discharge is focused towards the Port of Manatee.
Can we start over? We lost the microphone. Everybody lost the microphone. So we can start over.
Again, my name is Noah Valenstein. I'm the Secretary for the Department of Environmental Protection. Our focus is on supporting a controlled discharge of water from the site. Again, as the governor mentioned, this water is mainly salt water with some legacy processed water and rainwater in it. The main concern for the environment is nutrients, high nitrogen, phosphorus. The goal, again, is a controlled discharge to the Port of Manatee. Again, that marine environment can better process that. Again, our focus is controlled discharge. We urge residents to visit mymanatee.org. If you're a Manatee resident, to call 311. Heed evacuation orders. Right now, again, from the department's perspective, the greatest danger of public health, safety, and welfare is flooding. Again, we at the agency have great expertise at working at any remediation for nutrients and ensuring the protection of the environment. And most importantly, we have been out on the water since before this event, monitoring, having a base to make sure we catch any to our natural resources so that we can fully enforce against irresponsible. Thank you.
Okay. Happy Easter. Any questions?
Governor, what do you put the likelihood of a full breach? You mentioned that you're obviously trying to avoid it.
I wouldn't want to put anything on it. I mean, I think obviously we have been concerned enough about it to do the state of emergency. I mean, if we didn't think that was a possibility, then we would have marshaled the assets that we're doing. And so, we're preparing for that. Obviously, we hope that that doesn't happen, but you definitely need to prepare for it.
Other than the information you have right now, do you think something maybe could have been done previously to prevent us from getting here today?
You want to?
Thank you, Governor. I will tell you that as you know, this issue has been ongoing for a couple of decades. And what I have seen in the past 4 days from the governor's office is that I think all agencies and entities now are committed to a permanent resolution of this. In answer to your question, absolutely, this could have been resolved over 2 decades ago. Thank you.
What is the plan to repair this liner, and is there any immediate plan to stop
The question was, what is the plan to repair this liner? Based on the conversations with the governor and his experts, we won't be repairing the liner. We will be depleting the holding ponds of their water. And then we will be moving forward to a permanent solution into the future once we mitigate the current risk, which would probably include filling these ponds after they've been devoid of their contents and capping them, leaving a permanent solution that this will not reoccur anytime in the future. Well, as Mr. Moskowitz, relayed, listen to emergency management, call 311. If we should have a full breach, within minutes, we're down to about 340 million gallons that could breach in totality in a period of minutes, and the models for less than an hour are as high of a 20-foot wall of water. So if you're in an evacuation area and you have not heated that, you need to think twice and follow the orders on mymanatee.org and 311. Thank you. The current models, which are updated as the volume reduces in the holding pond, only show 1 to 5 feet of water. The jail is a 2-story facility. The sheriff has moved the medical unit and all personnel up to the 2nd floor, which puts them well over 10 feet above the base level. So currently, the staff and the temporary residents of the jail are safe. They are secured. The ground floor of the facility has been sandbagged.
Has there been any federal involvement stepping up to the situation?
Through Vern Buchanan's office and Senator Scott, the EPA, my understanding is they're sending down a representative to be in the command center. Right now, all of these efforts are under the direction of the governor, and we are quite satisfied and pleased with the resources that the governor has deployed.
You mentioned flooding is the primary concern right now, but if there is a breach of the South Reservoir, are you worried there could be a destabilizing of the 2 other ponds and the radioactive elements that are in there?
I won't rule that out as a possibility. The engineers, the third-party engineers for HRK have indicated that based on their review, that they are currently stable. And if it were the eastern wall or the southeast corner, those other retention areas are to the north, and there's a substantive amount of dirt and fill in between them. And so right now the focus is we've got a good plan in place. And as I said, the governor is flying in pumps. They're being placed now in pipes. So we feel much better than we did 3 days ago with these additional assets being deployed. And we're going to about double the amount of water we're pumping out of that retention pond.
Can you just clarify again what?
Can I step in
the-
just real quick? The question about sorry again, Noah Valentine. On the northern pond you were mentioning, it has higher levels of metals. The radiologicals are still below surface water discharge standards. So again, this is not water we want to see leaving the site. The southern pond, as we mentioned, is mainly seawater, but just wanted to clarify and happy to provide information after this.
Sorry, can you, for those people who are worried, they hear radioactive elements in water, which is
Right.
what's being reported right now. You're saying that that's not a concern?
Correct.
And that's because.
Yep. We'd be happy to share the constituents within that water, so you can go through, if you go to protectingfloridatogether.org to look at water quality sampling and stay tuned to that.
Mr. Valentine, can you just clarify what the process is, where this water that's being drained out, where is it going, and how often is it being sampled for content? Chemically sampled?
Sure, so we have the samples knowing what was in both ponds ahead of time. We had our staff out to ensure we were catching any impacts to the environment, to do baseline sampling, and our staff are on the water 7 days a week doing sampling in coordination with county environmental management agencies also.
And where is it draining out?
Into Port Manatee is the controlled discharge. The only uncontrolled discharge that we've seen at this point has been small amounts of water into Piney Creek that would go into Cockroach Bay and into the same Tampa area.
Okay, thanks, everybody. Appreciate it.